Apple, the most influential and recognizable brand, has seen phenomenal growth in the last decade. It went from $349 billion to $2.5 trillion in market value in just 10 years. Today, its market value is more than any of the listed firms. But how long can Apple continue to keep away from the fate of BlackBerry or Nokia? Many of the global factors that have lifted Apple to such lofty heights are now reversing. Stagnating growth, volatility in geopolitics, antitrust regulations, and fierce competition are gonna test the giant from top to bottom in this decade. The firm experienced double-digit growth of iPhones till 2015, but revenue has stagnated since. The market for smartphones is bound to mature, and then Apple pushes itself towards the problem all large firms face. The bigger they get, the harder it gets to maintain growth. iPhones make the majority of revenue share for Apple, but this stagnation implies that sooner or later Apple will need another keystone innovation. It's an open secret that they have been working upon iCar for years. They might produce these self-driving cars from scratch or provide the necessary hardware electronics for other car makers. But reportedly, things have not been going so well and the project is getting delayed. iCar is not an obvious extension of Apple's current inventory, and hence it would be extremely difficult to pull this off. Moving on, the majority of Apple's products are assembled in China. Though the firm has escaped the magnifying tensions between the US and China, there is a probability that it comes in the eyes of the authorities in both nations. Apple may fall victim to China's ongoing wrath on the tech giants. According to Goldman Sachs, Apple's profit could fall by 30% in case of any Chinese retaliation. And if Apple's contribution to the Chinese economy comes in between these retaliations, it might anger the regulators in the West. The firm has to find a way to avoid the consequences of these volatile geopolitical conditions. Till now, the firms like Alphabet, Amazon, Facebook, Microsoft, and Apple were working as a cartel. They seem to have agreed to not enter into each other's core business. But now, to sustain the huge valuations, they are searching for new sources of growth. This puts an end to the friendliness of these firms towards each other. When these trillion-dollar giants enter into Apple's core business, results could be devastating. Not just this, even in its core hardware business, things are not looking good. Competitors like Dell, Samsung, Xiaomi, and Fujitsu are attempting to steal the market share. This competition results in excessive price cutting and rapid innovation. It has the potential to seriously hamper the balance sheet of the firm. There have been several lawsuits against Apple accusing that it is killing the competition to illegally protect its App Store. Apple generates quite a handsome revenue from the services provided via App Store. The firm has been accused of exploiting its monopoly by charging 30% as tax on other developers. These third-party developers develop apps that compete with Apple's own apps. For example, Spotify competes with iTunes and VLC competes with iMovie. It's not easy to be competitive if you are forced to pay 30% to your competitor. This might lead to several antitrust investigations against Apple, and in the future, if the trial is lost, Apple might have to give up a major chunk of its income coming from the app stores. All these factors have the potential to bury Apple with its peers. It's gonna be a real test for Apple to survive or maintain growth this decade. Do you think Apple can survive this decade? What product might Apple introduce to avoid the stagnation? Please let us know in the comments and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.